Welcome everyone. Welcome to our 30-day action plan. Hi everyone, welcome to our Bold Brand Leadership 30-day action plan. So I'm your host today, Rachel Quilty, and what we're doing is we're going to be looking at 30 action steps to design, deploy, and dominate your field as a brand leader. So this is all about bold brand leadership, and we're looking at a 30-day action plan. So my name is Rachel Quilty, I'm a brand strategist, and we're looking at 30 vital action steps to establish your brand leadership in your field and leverage your personal branding to position you and your brand as the authority. And I'm really sorry if there's a little bit of background noise because we're trying something new today. Anyway, we're really excited because it is day one, it is action step number 1, and we're looking at discovering your existing brand leadership. So within our action plan, our bold brand leadership action plan, we're looking at 3 phases. Phase 1 is day 1 to 10, brand yourself action plan. Phase 2, day 11 to day 20, brand yourself the expert. And phase 3 is day 21 to 30, which is brand yourself the authority. So as we kind of move through these action steps, I'm going to give you an overview. But the one thing that I do want you to remember is this: personal branding is the prerequisite to success. We all want to be brand leaders, and we need to be thinking about our personal branding, which underscores our brand leadership. So remember this: personal branding is the prerequisite to success. So I just want to quickly run through the action steps within phase 1, brand yourself action plan. So brand yourself action plan provides you a solid understanding of what steps are needed to building a significant and successful brand. So action step number 1, discover your existing brand leadership, which is what we're going to look at today. Action step number 2, determine your target audience. Action step number 3, define your true brand leadership. Action step number 4, dominate your field as the brand leader. Action step number 5, design your unique brand leadership. Action step number 6, develop your brand's strategic style. And action step number 7, devise your brand leadership plan. Action step number 8, decide your desired brand leadership outcomes. Action step number 9, deploy and disseminate your brand message. Action step number 10, deliver your brand leadership promise. So we've got a few action steps. Let me just quickly provide a disclaimer. So this training series is intended to provoke your thinking and challenge you to review, rebuild, and re-engineer your brand leadership. It's opinion based on research, so a lot of the information I'm providing will be research or data-driven information. It's not legal advice, nor is there any guarantees of income. No income is derived from any of the mentions or any of the companies or organizations that I mentioned. And I will, if there is an affiliate link or a merchant supplier, I will advise you of that if that's the case. So like I said, as we're walking through all this and we're talking about brand leadership, and we're going to be looking at some quite, sophisticated information around your brand leadership, but the one thing that I do want you to remember that underscores everything is that personal branding is the prerequisite to success. So my name, like I said, is Rachel Quilty. I'm a brand management consultant and personal brand strategist at JumptheQ Inc., a brand coaching firm operating in Australia and the US, and I have students and clients globally. I spent 10 years consulting industrial relations advocate, crisis management, business and employment law, management systems, So managing some fairly high-level industrial action and industrial matters within the Industrial Relations Commission. So my role was primarily IR advocacy in the Commission and the courts. And, you know, that role entailed participating in drafting and reviewing and disseminating legislation. So over the last couple of years, I've been studying qualifying in filmmaking, and I'm now a qualified director and filmmaker or scriptwriter, independent producer, if you will. However, my role really is as a brand communication plan creator and content creator. So that's what I love to do, create brand management systems for my clients. So one of the things that I often say is that conscious leadership, competence and confidence and courage is often mistaken as crazy, or you may be a contrarian. And so if we look at all the brand leaders in the various industries, for example, we have Richard Branson, we have Steve Jobs, we have Jeff Bezos, we have any number of high-level CEOs. And, one thing that stood out to me as I was walking through some of my case studies and reviewing the characteristics and traits of, brand leaderships. And that's not to say that there's not a lot of women. There are, and I will be talking about some of them as we move through the training. But what I wanted to just mention is that the core trait that I often saw was that people had, made comments and criticized them for their, what we now know as being disruptive leadership, and their outliers. And we really saw a level of, people thinking that these people were really crazy when they were considering their brand and their brand empire. So look, I think if somebody's, a bit confused about your idea, or they are suggesting that you might be a little crazy, I think you're in very good company, and that's all I can say about that. So bold brand leadership. So day one, action step number one, we're discovering your existing brand leadership. And I just wanted to quickly define brand leadership. A leadership brand conveys your identity and distinctiveness as a leader. It communicates the value you offer. And that's a definition that was within Harvard Business Review. Look, I think that's one of the best definitions that I've found. A leadership brand conveys your identity and distinctiveness as a leader. It communicates the value you offer. So over the next 30 days, we're going to envelope this concept and this definition, and we'll be talking about the value you add, your distinctiveness and your unique identity. And one of the things I just wanted to kind of comment on as we walk through this process is that brand leadership really does require a level of cultural intelligence, and we're seeing this and hearing about it a lot more now. And so what I can tell you as I've walked through some of the case studies as I was presenting on cultural intelligence was that iconic brands have used cultural intelligence, which underpins sustainable branding, to broaden markets and brand awareness while addressing inequality and countering any negative cultural norms. And so today, action step number one is really about discovering your existing brand leadership. And there's nothing better I can do than to reference or connect you with our free resource, our Brand Yourself Blueprint. It actually contains what I call a brand leadership audit, and it really walks you through some of those core steps to determine your existing brand. So it asks you about your values and what you want to be identified by. It considers what your customer touch points may be. And so that's where I'm going to send you, because that is one of the best resources that I can give you. So today is really a very snapshot of the idea, and to send you on your way, I'm going to send you over to brandyourselfblueprint.com. Grab your free brand journal and your workbook, and really I want you to become a contrarian. So I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. as we walk through and connect with action step number 2.